Hey guys, Kyle with Dirt Bike Channel here. Today we're going to talk about what you do with this little finger when you're riding. It's the one that's going to be hovering over your clutch lever. We're going to talk about what to do with it today on Dirt Bike Channel. Stick around. Little disclaimer, I'm not the best dirt bike rider in the world. I think that's pretty clear. I'm an average rider, maybe a little above average. When I'm riding, I like to keep one finger on the clutch, just in case. When I'm standing up and I'm coming through some tight single track section, I'll keep one finger on the clutch just in case I need to give a little squeeze of the clutch to slow down to make it around a turn. When I'm going through a tricky section, I'll keep one finger on the clutch in case I just need to give a little stab shot of power to keep the bike going, to keep it moving a little bit faster, because probably I'm staying in maybe a higher gear like second gear. Another time that you want to give a little bit of clutch and just squeeze and give a little dab of clutch is when you're going up a hill and you start to lose some of your RPMs. You can give just a little bit of clutch, just slip the clutch just a little bit to bring those RPMs back up and bring your power back where you want it to be. There is so much you can do with just a little stab of the clutch, and if you learn to ride with one finger on, possibly two, I prefer one, but if you'll learn to ride with one finger on the clutch at all times, when you're standing or when you're sitting, you'll be able to take greater control of your riding. Let's talk about lever placement for just a second. As you'll notice, I like my levers to be a little bit lower than my bars. I don't want to be level out like this, have it up too high, but I also don't want to be too far down. Part of that reason is because I want to try to maintain an attack position, and I want to be able to grab the lever no matter where I'm at. Some guys will run their levers way down low down here, and it makes it hard when you do sit down for you to actually actuate that lever. So I want to be able to have a straight shot when I'm sitting down. I also want to be able to get the lever really easily when I'm standing up, and it's just easier for me to actuate it when it's a little bit more level. Now, everybody's going to have different opinions of where your lever should be. Point is, find something that works for you and go with it. But when I'm riding, I like to stay out on the end of my bars. Now, this is something that my buddy Scott, one of the best riders that I know, taught me, is to stay. If you're getting blisters here on your hands, you're probably gripping the bars too close in. You should be riding more out here on the end of the bars, more in attack mode with your elbows up a little bit more, and keeping your wrists a little bit straighter, anyway, and it makes it a perfect angle for you to just get one finger on that clutch lever to be able to actuate it. If you guys pay attention to the point of view footage that I put up, it's the GoPro footage that usually I'll have on the side of my helmet recently, you'll notice that I'm covering the clutch with one finger. I'm also covering the front brake with one finger. And that's because I never know what I'm going to come up on where I might need to give a little stab of clutch. I might need to give quite a bit of rear brake, and I don't want to stall the bike, so I'll keep that finger over the clutch so I don't stall it. I'm also covering that front brake just so I can give like little inputs, and I'm only using one finger. That's my preference, especially on the brakes. On these KTMs, the brakes they have so much power, and you've got so much feel. I find you have better feel and better control if you just use one finger. And I've carried that over to the clutch side. Some of you guys might not be able to pull the clutch with one finger, depending on what your brake cable is like or your clutch cable is like, so you may need to take two fingers on that. But I suggest you try to do it with no more than two fingers, because you can just get better feel, and you can also stay holding onto the bars better. That's one of the biggest reasons why I only use one finger, is then I have these other three fingers to hold onto the bars, while that way I've got good control of the bars. I don't feel like I'm gonna fly off, but I've also got enough power there to do one finger clutch pull. Standing up, sitting down, little stab, pull it all the way back if I need to. Same thing on the brake side. I find myself clear out here and just barely grabbing on to the end of the ball here on the bar when I'm riding a lot. This seems to be where I end up so much of the time, because my hands will be out here on the ends of the bars, and instead of grabbing way up here or getting two or three fingers on this, which would, is terrible idea, just come out with one finger is what I'll do most of the time. One of the other reasons why it's important not to put three fingers up on the clutch when you're doing this. Look at what happens when I take three fingers up here on my clutch. I've got basically nothing to hold onto the bar with. If I put 2 fingers on there, I'm only given 2 fingers to be able to hold onto my bars. But if I use 1 finger, I've got the whole meat of my hand here, able to grip that bar and give me the control I need there, and then I'm able to give my my bike the control I need with just the control I need with that 1 finger. Same thing goes on the brake side. That's something that I would suggest, is hang on with 3 fingers and use 1 finger for your clutch or for your brake, and it'll give you better control of the bars and better control up here, assuming you can pull your clutch with 1 finger. If you can't pull the clutch with 1 finger, you probably need to replace, put some lube up in here, up in your lever, and you may need to replace your clutch cable if you've got a clutch cable. These KTMs have a hydraulic clutch, so they seem to work a little bit better. But if you're on a Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, it might be time for a new clutch cable, or look for some other way to lighten up your clutch pull a little bit so that you can do it with 1 finger and keep these other 3 fingers on the bar.